Hey guys, so I just finally got done watching Hocus Pocus 2. I know there's quite a lot of people out there on my Facebook friends that are probably waiting for me to review this. Um, okay, well, fuck. Let's talk about. I think this is the first time I got to talk about Hocus Pocus on this channel. So let's talk about it for a second. So, Hocus Pocus, the original. Um, it's kind of a parody for me. All right, I'll give you a little backstory. So I, like everybody, saw the original when it came out in '93. I was five or whatever, and 5 or 6. And I remember watching when it came on DVD or video, and I've watched it a couple times here and there on when it's on TV or whatever. I catch it when it's on TV. I thought it was a fine movie, an okay movie. There are things I liked about Bette Midler. I loved about it. I still love Bette Midler. Bette Midler was having a fucking blast, and when Bette Midler is like having a blast in a movie, she's just contagious. You can't not help but like her. It has its own charm, I admit. But I just never understood this cult fascination that surrounds this fucking movie. I will never understand it. I still don't. It's not that great of a fucking movie. It's a good movie. It's not that great. That's my argument. That's been my argument for like the past few years because it's like been overblown to death. Especially your fucking you have friends on Facebook who are obsessed with this shit. It's like dude, there's better movies than this. But why I particularly picked this movie to do this sequel was because a couple years ago I posted on Facebook basically saying something along the lines of I think Hocus Pocus is not that good. I don't understand the obsession people have with this movie. And because of that, you would have thought I had declared myself a fucking Nazi. I might as well have, because I had friends that were pissed. I had a sister that was pissed. I had friends. I had my sister. People were like telling my sister, "Go get your brother." God damn it, go get your brother. I was like, I and from that point forward, I just own my hatred for this movie because I was like, all right, it's gotta become self parody now. And like every fucking time, even I just posted on Facebook before I started watching this last night. I was like, oh god, I gotta watch this fucking movie finally. Unfortunately, I can't drink tonight because I gotta work tomorrow. And people are like, ugh. I got like angry faces on the emojis and stuff like that. They're like, fuck you, it's good. I'm like, all right. And it's like, I'm gonna declare to my Facebook friends that are watching this, I don't hate Hocus Pocus, all right? I don't. I don't love it. It just, like a lot of people do. I just don't understand obsession. For all these fuckers out there that are all about protecting their children from like sexualization of cartoons or kids movies and all that shit like that. They're fine with a movie from the 90s that actively talks about a kid being a fucking virgin. What? And it's a whole plot where they make fun of him, and like that's the only reason that he summons these witches because he's a virgin. And it's like, you fuckers bitch about whenever there's a fucking lesbian couple or a gay couple in a cartoon and say that's sexualizing kids. And then you turn around and show your kids Hocus Pocus. Fuck you. That's been my ultimate argument about that fucking movie. You fucking hypocrites. Anyways, I wanted to tell you my thoughts about going as far as Pocus goes and kind of clarify a few things for people what my real opinion on Hocus Pocus is. I wasn't particularly looking forward to this, but I was like, whatever. I have to review this now. Like, I backed myself into a corner. I have to review this. I'm like, I said back when I reviewed the Monsters, there's no fucking way Monsters, that this movie will be worse than Monsters. Well, I'm sure a lot of people are waiting for me to bash and bludgeon this movie to death and talk about how horrible I thought this movie was. If you thought that, you think I'm going to be doing that, sorry, you're going to be disappointed. I didn't hate it. It wasn't that bad. It is definitely better than Monsters. Which is not very high praise, but I didn't hate this movie. Never at any point in this, at least in this movie, I actually laughed a few times. I can't say that about the Monsters. I didn't laugh one fucking time in that fucking movie. This, at least I enjoyed myself. There are things I did enjoy. There are things that did bug the fuck out of me, but there are things I loved about it. I did like about it. This is a movie I would appreciate as far as, honestly, this is one of those legacy sequels that we're getting nonstop nowadays. A sequel to a movie that's like 30 years old or whatever. It is like, a sequel way too late. And a lot of times you get a lot of mixed bags. Like, unfortunately, like, stuff like Jurassic World Dominion was fucking horrible. Top Gun is one of the best versions of this. This is somewhere in the middle. It's not one of the worst ones. It's not even close. It's not definitely one of the best ones. Definitely not one of the best ones. There are things I liked about it that like, it didn't fall under a lot of tropes that a lot of legacy sequels do nowadays. I love the Sanderson sisters. They probably are the best parts of this fucking movie. Bette Midler is fucking fantastic. She's like I said, she steals every fucking scene she's in. Her chemistry between her and Horseface and the other girl. Sorry, I have to call Sarah Jessica Parker. That's what I'm talking about. It's pretty much really, honestly, at this point, like Sarah Jessica Parker and Bette Midler are the two most famous ones. The other one's just there, is the fat one. I'm sorry. I know I've seen her and stuff, but she's always she's irritating. She's the fat sister that is goofy, even Sarah Jessica Parker basically is like her character in the first one is just a dumb blonde, and Bette Midler is the brains of the group. And Bette Midler is fucking awesome. I remember people telling me like, "Oh, this is a musical." And I'm like, I was worried when they first popped up. Like, they don't pop up until like maybe about 30 minutes into this movie, and when they do pop up, they have a fucking random musical number, like "The Witches Are Back," like as a tribute to Elton John. I'm like, oh boy, is this? So this is what my friend was warning me about being a musical, and really, that's it. Other than there's a scene where one way or another they sing one way or another instead of that was the fucking song they sang in the first one. I gotta spell. Or whatever, fucking, what they sang. People already know. But other than that, there's not much musical numbers in it. But it's like, yeah, it was like, whatever. It's a lot of the same humor. If you like the first one's humor with them, it's the same here. It's nothing different. Like the first one, it's a fish out of water story. It's basically one of those stories where it's like the first one. They're like looking at all this, new technology and being freaked out by it, or like being wowed by it. They call them witchcraft, like by sliding doors or some automated sliding doors and stuff like that. I also did like Doug Jones back as Billy. He was one of the better parts. I remember him being pretty funny in the original. It's been a while since I've watched the original, but I'm like, yeah, like other than him, that's one thing I was surprised with this movie. Is that with legacy sequels, usually you have, like, everybody from the original make an appearance in this fucking thing. Other than Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and the other girl, and Doug Jones, that's it. Nobody else from the original makes a cameo. I'm like, that's weird. Like, what the fuck has Forrest Birch been doing for, like, all these years? You're telling me the kid from the Virgin from the first one? He couldn't make a cameo? What the fuck has he been doing all this time? I looked it up. I'm like, they really aren't really doing anything. So why the fuck you couldn't get any of those guys? Really? I would think they would want to make a cameo, but they didn't. All right. And I was surprised. Like, they have a black cat. The magic owner has a black cat, and I thought, they kept cutting to him a lot in this movie, and I'm thinking, okay, so is he gonna be the Binksy cat? Gonna be revealed to be the Binksy cat that's helping the teenage girls from S1. I'm like, no, don't do that. It's like good because that wouldn't have made really much sense if you remember from what I remember for the first one. That wouldn't have made any sense. So I'm glad they didn't do that. Um, what else to fucking talk about? Uh, yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think there was something I wanted to talk about. I can't remember. I'll talk about some of the negatives, the things that just drove me nuts a little bit. CGI was not very good. There was some bad CGI in this movie. Holy shit! Like Disney Plus, a lot of this Disney Plus exclusives, you can tell that they're Disney Plus exclusives because I don't even think Disney's even trying anymore to CGI. Some of the CGI in like a lot of their Marvel shows have been pretty bad, especially like She-Hulk. Fuck, I didn't watch Pinocchio, but I've seen snippets of it. I'm like, yeah, that don't look very good. Fuck, I'm trying to remember there was something I wanted to talk about. This pause. I can't fucking remember. Damn it. Damn it. Uh. Oh, I do know one thing I want to talk about. It was pausing. The movie is funny. There were some funny jokes in the movie. The highlight for me that I appreciate that they even referenced it. They do reference the original in the movie, right? And this had to be for somebody like me because of what I was ranting about earlier, where they were telling the kids at the magic store a story, the story of the first one. They referenced the kid who was a virgin, and one of the kids in the audience goes, "What's a virgin?" And he's like, the dad's like, he never lit a candle. That made me laugh. I was like, all right, that made me laugh. Got me, movie. I was like, at least you addressed it somewhat. It's like, all right, I give you that, and you addressed it. Now, fucking okay. There's a lot of weird plot points in this movie that was just bugging me. So, three of them in particular I can think of. One, the book, there's a the whole point of the movie is that they want to use a power spell that like is in the book from the original that makes them all powerful and has like a warning on it. And I like throughout the movie I'm like sitting there like, okay, why the fuck did they not use that spell from the fucking beginning, even in the original? Are you telling me they didn't remember that spell from the original? Obviously, this is something they never thought of in the original. This is something they thought of now, and this is like a plot point that they're putting in now that wasn't existent in the first one. Because if it was in the first one, they would have probably acknowledged that. But they do give a reason why. Like they're like it. They explain that the book is kind of like resistant on letting them use the power spell. But even that just becomes null and void because they just force the book to show them the page of the power spell, even if the book doesn't want to. I'm like, so what the fuck was the point of the book being resistant? I don't know. But they do give a reason why that they do give a good enough explanation as to why you never saw that spell from the beginning. I'll give them that by the end of it. Because apparently Bette Miller just doesn't read. The character just doesn't read the warning because, it's a very brief warning. I would think that would be the most important thing I would read, even if I was a witch, but whatever. I don't get why the fuck did this town I'm supposed to believe worships this fucking group of sisters, witches that fucking try to eat children. Why? I understand, in this weird world that we live in, people dress up because they're movie characters, but you're telling me this town that has this history with this fucking group of witches that try to eat children, they kind of you're telling me they dress up like them? And kind of, worship them? Like, like what? Like, and whatever. I was like, that made no sense to me. Also, this is a fucking thing that drove me nuts. So apparently they have one kryptonite. These witches have one kryptonite. I don't remember this ever being mentioned in the fucking original. Somebody to tell me in the comments can tell me if this was. Apparently there's only one kryptonite that can stop them, and that is salt. What? Hey, hold on. All you have to do, if they're coming towards you, just have a bag of salt, pour it on the ground, and they can't come anywhere near you. They're maybe the most useless villains I've seen since Signs with the aliens that are afraid of water. Like, what? Like, that just seems like this could have been easily solved. All these problems with these witches could have been easily solved very quickly. Because, like, say if there's like a line and they try to come towards this line of salt, the salt causes like this invisible barrier to stop them from reaching what they're trying to get across the salt line of salt. What? This is really one of the stupidest plot points I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't remember that being an original. If it's in the original, tell me. I don't know, but that was silly. That was silly. That was really fucking silly. Um, yeah, like I said, I liked it. It was fine. It was fun for what it was. It's definitely, I think, the last one. I think because I'm sitting there like, okay, I give them credit. This was like a one-off sequel, and they had a nice enough finality to it that felt like, okay, this is the last time we'll see these characters because Bette Midler's getting older. You know, I don't see them ever making another one. And then I had to fucking jinx myself because of course there's an end credit scene that sets up. Oh yeah, there's probably a chance they'll make a sequel. I'm like, of course. If you're wondering what my thoughts about the new girl characters, I thought they were fine. They were like, it's obviously supposed to be a younger version. There's a lot, even though this movie does rely on heavily on nostalgia, but not too bad, not as bad as some of the fucking nostalgia sequels that come out nowadays and legacy sequels that come out nowadays, like Jurassic World. Like, obviously there's a lot of the callbacks and them doing that weird walk. They do that quite a bit in this fucking movie. They even reference it at the end, which I thought was goofy. But yeah, I thought the new girls were fine in the movie. They're fine. They're obviously new generation characters. They were not annoying or terrible. They have a stereotypical story about where a group of friends that kind of became separated as they went through high school and stuff like that. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, whatever. It's a fine sequel. It is for what it is. It's not that bad. Okay. Before I get off here, so I have my next horror movie review I'm planning is Hellraiser, the new Hellraiser. But also, so there's an update as far as the movies I'm going to be reviewing this weekend that come out in the theaters. So I originally was just going to be Till and Pray for the Devil. Well, now there's some more that's been involved. Along with Pray for the Devil and Till, like I said, Pray for the Devil was the only movie I was planning, the last horror movie I was planning to review that comes out in the theaters. And I was going to review Till, but then there's also that, now we're also getting that Tar with Kate Blanchett. It's 2.5 hours. And to my fucking surprise, and I did not expect this, but we are getting it. I am getting Terrifier 2 this weekend. So, but here's the problem. I was excited. I was excited. Yeah, yes, we're finally getting Terrifier 2. Right now, I'm very fucking busy. Very busy with work. Work is like we're working extra hours, even working. I'm busy this whole week, and I was all excited when I heard Terrifier 2 was coming. I'm like, all right, cool. But then I also saw there's only playing one showtime per day at 9:50 at night. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, now because of my job and because I might be working, I work at like 6 a.m. It makes it really hard to fucking go see a movie at 9:50 at night. I will be seeing it sometime eventually. I gotta try to see it before fucking Monday, which is Halloween. That's my plan when I do these horror reviews. I try to see them all before Halloween. Hopefully, I will get to see it. I will have a review for Terrifier 2. Hopefully. So, yeah. Yeah, if you all have been looking forward to a review for Terrifier 2, I know I had a couple requests. I am going to have a chance to see it, so I will be reviewing that eventually. But yeah, that's as far as what's coming up next. Yeah, I got a lot of fucking. I gotta try to get a lot of these fucking movies in quickly. Like I said, I got still Hellraiser 2, Hellraiser and VHS 99 too. So until then, I'll talk to you guys later.